Welcome back. Today we're going to learn about taxes, tips, and commissions. Right now you should have your paper in front of you with a pencil and a calculator. A reminder that you can pause the video at any time, you can rewind to rewatch certain pieces, and you can view the video anytime you have a question about how to solve a problem. Before we jump into our notes, I wanted to just talk about what taxes, tips, and commissions are. You've probably heard of the word tax or taxes before. You might hear your parents talk about how taxes are so high, or in February, March, and April see them worrying about finishing their taxes or submitting them on time. So a tax is a dollar amount that we pay to the government, and the government uses to pay for schools, police, firefighters, DPW, roads, different things like that. The government uses money to take care of those things. Businesses can also pay taxes. There are different kinds of taxes. There's a sales tax, there's an income tax, there's property taxes, there's something called an excise tax. And each state has a different percentage for their sales tax. So if I zoom in here to New England, here, Massachusetts sales tax is 6.25%. Maine is 5.5%. You'll notice New Hampshire doesn't have a percent. That's because they don't have a sales tax. Vermont has 6.25%. Rhode Island has 7%, and Connecticut over 6%. So because we're in Massachusetts, we're going to be focusing in on a lot on 6.25 and percentages around there so that we can get used to finding the tax of our different items that we purchase. When someone works on a commission is a fee that is paid to a person who makes a sale. So for example, if you are a real estate agent or a car salesperson, you would make a commission, which is a percentage of the sale, and that would be your paycheck. So if you sell $1 million house, a certain percentage of that $1 million is your paycheck or is part of your paycheck. And we find the commission by multiplying the percentage times the total sale. A tip is something that is paid to a waiter or waitress. Depending on the quality of the service, that will depend on how much you pay them for a tip, and a tip is part of their paycheck. So someone who's a waiter or waitress will earn an hourly wage and then also be paid with tips. And again, the tips are just like taxes. They're added on to the cost of the item. Okay. So, percents are used to calculate sales tax. And a sales tax is a tax that is put on a good or an item that goes to the government. And the government uses it, like we said, to pay for different services like schools, police, fire, roads, DPW, different things like that. Calculate sales tax, you first have to find the tax rate of the price. That's the same thing as the percentage. And then you add You add the sales tax onto the original price. So it says a shirt costs $25.50. So I'm going to underline that. The sales tax rate is 8.5%. You have to find the total cost. So underline where it says total cost. And then it says round your answer to the nearest cent. So let's underline that. So if we solve this problem with a proportion, and then the $25.50 is the original price of the shirt. We're going to find out is the 8.5% or the tax. So we divide $25.50 by 100, multiply by 8.5. So on your calculator, it says 2.1675, but because we're talking about money, dollar, no, sorry, to the nearest penny, so that would be $2.17. Now, a lot of people would stop and say that that's the answer, and they would circle that, but they would be wrong. This is the tax, so the tax gets added on to the price. So we have to add the tax onto the price for the shirt. That is what we can circle. And if you make a mistake during this work, this is probably going to be your mistake, is you're going to forget to add the tax onto the cost of the item to find the total. If you're an equation person, the tax is the same thing as the part, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the tax. The percent we write as a decimal. So this was 8.5%, so we move the decimal point over 2 places. And then the shirt is $25.50. Multiply that, we still get $2.17. That to $25.50 and 67 cents. Just like always, if you need to go back and watch that again, please do so. And if you need to watch this part of the video again when you flip over to work on the problems on the back, definitely do that. Don't let this be the last time that you ever see this example being done. You can also calculate tips using percents by following almost the same exact steps. So a tip is a percentage of the total bill given for a service. Now, it doesn't have to be at a restaurant. It could be at a salon. It could be any place where someone is providing a service. You might tip them based on how good their service was. It says Janaya goes out for dinner. The bill comes to $35.45, so underline that. She leaves a 20% tip. How much does dinner cost her in all? So underline those words, in all. So with using a proportion, she's leaving a 20% tip. The meal is $35.45. $35.45 divided by 100 is 20. So do this now on your calculator while I do it on mine. All right, So we get $7. Now, don't circle that. That's not the answer. That is just the tip. So we have to add that on to get the grand total. That's what you can circle. So finding a tip is just like finding the tax. The tax is part of the price. So that's what we're looking for. It's a 20% tip. Percent is a decimal. Meal was $35.45. We multiply to get $7.09. But don't circle that answer because they're asking us for how much it is in all. So we have to add $35.40 plus the $7.54. If they had asked for the tax or the tip only, then you would give this answer. But when you see the words in all, that means you have to add it up. So the words in all mean that you're going to add or your tip onto the original amount. A commission is a percentage of a sale that a seller gets in return for effort and service. Zahir makes a 10% commission for the cookies that he sells at the farmer's market. If Zahir sells $565 worth of cookies, how much does he make in commission? So we have 10%. $65. Finding out what the commission is for a 10% commission is. So we do 565 divided by 100 is 10. Problem, we want to make sure we add that 0 there. We're asked to find out how much he makes in commission, so we just circle that answer. That's how much he makes in commission. Solving it with an equation, so the commission is the same thing as the part. The percent we write as a decimal. Multiply. $6.50 on commission. Now, what you're going to do is the problems on the back, you're going to use these notes here as a reference to help you solve those 8 problems on the back. Come back to this side of the worksheet or come back to this video, but when you do the problems on the back. But every problem is going to be just like one of these. So if you're finding the tax, it's going to be like this. If you're finding the tip, it's going to be like this. And then if you're finding a commission, it's going to be like this. So use your notes or use this video to help you solve the different problems that are on the back. If you have questions, you can get started right now.